Alright.
No fucking lives today.
No. Oh well.
Anyway, today's guest is Sam McNally, black belt in Jiu Jitsu, all round savage. I'm meant to ask you one question for you. My wife is in the corporate gig as well.
Yeah.
She's really suffered like Zoom. How's your BJJ thing going? Are you doing Zooms or how's it going? Tough one.
Yeah, kind of came to a grinding halt pretty quick. I had some of the classes online doing like mobility classes, but I've kind of started to wind that back now. I still have a bit going, but like, I don't expect the companies to come back all too soon. You know. Yeah. It's like the perk is if you have an office, that's a perk now at this stage. Yeah. It's like having jiu-jitsu is maybe too far to invest in at the moment. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yvonne is the same. Literally, like she had about 8 to 10 corporate clients and flat out.
What she do?
Literally Pilates.
Pilates, yeah.
And literally overnight. See you later. You're not allowed. You don't work here. And then it kind of just started getting worse and worse and worse and worse. The Zoom was kind of started up a tiny bit again, but nowhere like it was before.
I feel like it's hard. I think I don't know. When I think of it in retrospect, like I should have seen this coming because people are getting more remote as time goes on and all. But then it happens, and you're like, oh wait, this isn't coming back anytime soon. Not even be pessimistic. I think just be realistic about it. It's like if you're someone who owns a bit like a large corporation, you're thinking, okay, how am I going to spend my budget for next year? It's like, well, people that have small, like the majority of people who probably have small kids and stuff are going to want to be at home with their kids and cutting down on their childcare costs and be able to spend time with their family and work remotely and not be tied into the office 9 to 5. So it's like, if I had a company, I'd be like, okay, we're cutting it down to 60% capacity. The perk is you can actually go to the office now at this stage. That's the perk. It's not you can go to the office and do these extra activities because why would you want people there if they're able to be productive from home or remote? Yeah. It's unfortunate.
The new normal is shit.
Yeah. I know. I'm optimistic about it. I think, like,
I'm optimistic. Even though I'm saying that, I'm completely.
There will be lots of other opportunities as well, and even like, say for your wife and all, to be able to go as far as having a business where you can actually deal with corporate clients means that you're well equipped for doing anything else in the same vein. Like recently I went back to college and started studying like computer programming. Yeah. And straight away I could start freelancing because I know how to use contracts. I know how to manage like cash flow and things like that. How to run a business in and of itself. Yeah. So I think I'm still optimistic for people to be able to get things back going again. I think that'll make a big difference as well when now that things are kind of open, when we get more. And people get like
I'm like, oh, you get a bit emotional at the start. You're like, fuck, we always used to do it this way. But then when you look at it, it's like, okay, I need to find a way. How am I going to do this? Yeah. And okay, you're telling me this is in the way. I'm going around this, and I'm going to find a way. Yeah. And like human nature.
Yeah. I know. I think as well. Like before the pandemic, I think like half of the workforce were employed in small businesses. So it's like those people that were working in small business or were able to run small businesses, they haven't gone anywhere. Yeah. It's just what's the next iteration of what we can all do, and I know I'm super optimistic. And also people have more savings than they've ever had ever. Now is the best time if you're going to start something, start it, because you can make good cash and you can make lump sums of cash just to get yourself working capital to go with. So I don't know. I hope that you can give your wife kind regards from a fellow corporate, entrepreneur who's faced a small setback.
Yeah, no, small one. But anyway, where are you from originally?
I'm from Kilmacud in Dublin.
Okay.
So yeah, grew up there.
And how did you come across Jiu-Jitsu? How did you start on this road of Jiu-Jitsu?
When I was in school in 4th year, so when I was 15, 16, we were doing judo in transition year. Savage. I really liked doing it, but there was no judo clubs like anywhere near where I could get to. Like there is some on the north side, but there was like nothing on the south side. And I found jiu-jitsu, like looking at my Google, went training. I just fell in love with it straight away, and like within a couple of weeks I was just training every day.
Savage.
So
all in type blokes, down my type of people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I made a conscious effort to be all in on it. I was just like, this is the best thing ever.
So much fun.
Yeah. So yeah, and now just still do that, like. So.
And that's the first place you walked into.
Yep. Yeah, just with Dar, like he was purple belt at the time. Like when what year was it? 2010 or 11 maybe.
Okay. He
had just gotten the gym because the guy who previously ran the gym didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I think he just kind of stepped away and just said to Dar, like, here, it's yours if you want. So he started doing it, and then I think 2 or 3 months later, that's when I joined up, and there was a few lads who were just trying doing the competitions and all, and then I started getting into that, and it was pretty good.
Savage. And you travel a bit for Jiu Jitsu?
Yeah, well, pre-pandemic I was traveling every week or second week or so to do the tournaments. Like it was pretty good. So about to get back into that now. So greatly looking forward to it.
Savage.
Yeah.
And like you prefer gi, but you do a bit of non-gi as well, or which?
Yeah, I definitely
prefer. You be a gi player.
I prefer training the gi. I feel like in my head I'm better in the gi, but relative to people that I train with their fight, I feel like I'm better at no-gi, you know. So, but also train with everyone who's persistent on training in the gi. So, like, I don't know, I much prefer gi jiu-jitsu. I think it's way more in depth. Like, it isn't way more in depth. No-gi is just in depth, you know. But I just feel like the systems and the way you have to think about it is, there's always something new. There's always something new. Whereas I feel in no-gi, it's almost a different sport at this stage now. It's like you're working to refine or like not reinvent, but like relearn like specific parts of grappling that people are trying to perfect. Whereas with the gi, it's like it's something new all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Every week there's a new guard or something. So yeah, it's more what I'm into. But at the moment I'm training a lot of no-gi for competing in the ADCC trials in September. So
I think with the gi, with like K guard and lapel guards and like using the lapels and the legs and berambola and inverting, there's so much stuff.
Yeah,
there's so much. Whereas no-gi, like I love no-gi. I'm kind of better in gi, but I love no-gi.
Yeah,
there's like a few passes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you can't do so much no-gi, even though I prefer it.
Yeah,
but with gi, like there's so much.
Yeah, I feel like with the no-gi, it's like you take the positions that everyone knows, and you have to find like the small positions in between that and get good at that. And it's like that's people that are really good. It's like they can break down the positions that everyone knows into like tiny positions and get really good at that. Whereas in the gi, you could invent something.
Yeah.
Like you just get good at something you invent it and all.
Yeah.
But I think I buzz off the most is like actually trying to do that style of learning what you want in no-gi, with like trying to take like the standard classic positions and break them down smaller and smaller in the gi. I think that's interesting. Like that's for me is like, you know, at the end of the day when you're 60, that's what you're going to be doing. It's those simple positions that don't require too much physical attributes that you're going to be doing. So it's like I'm in my mind like I want to learn how to get really good at that now.
Yeah. Or then be like hold your gaze.
Exactly, yeah.
Just be a savage. It's like, oh, you're going to get armbarred or cross collar.
Yeah.
And the best guys in the world can't stop him.
Yeah, yeah. And I always think about him, it's like he got really good at positions that people kind of neglected, you know? He got like, who, you know, like, especially when he was competing, it's like how many of those lads who he was fighting against were practicing defending cross chokes in the mount? Yeah. Probably none, you know? They probably just thought, like, I'm a black belt now, this is stuff we teach the beginners and kind of move on. Or like close guard, it's like, you know, he probably put thousands and thousands of hours in of being close guard bottom, whereas everyone he fought had, you know, a fraction of that on top in experience. So yeah, that's buzz.
And specific training for you've ADCC coming up, which is the trials, the European trials, which ADCC is like the Olympics for people. A lot of people wouldn't know about jiu-jitsu or anything. It's the Olympics for no-gi grapplers. So you're going to the qualifiers in Poland?
Yeah, it's in Poland. Yeah, on the 18th of September. So.
And say on a Monday, what will be a steady week like for you preparing for this?
Yeah, well, so to be honest, now I'm like getting coached in actual like load management and stuff.
Okay.
But pretty much what I would just try to do is train as much as possible. But now I'm trying to make it a bit smarter. But usually, like on a Monday, train the morning, train the evening. Tuesday, train the morning, train the evening. Wednesday, sometimes I'd lift weights or train in the morning, depending on the week. Train the evening. Thursday, up to now, I've been like kind of taking Thursday just very, very light, just train the evening. And then Friday, maybe sometimes train in the morning or lift weights, train the evening. And then the Saturday, just train once and then try rest for Saturday evening and then Sunday. But now I'm actually going to change that. I'm actually going to make it a bit. I'm going to kind of scale it back now and make it much more specific for the tournament camps.
Yes.
So I think the thing that I've neglected the most over time is factoring in when to actually rest. Like, what are the weeks and what are the days and what are the times you're meant to be actually resting and recovering?
Yeah.
Because when you try and multiply that across like 3 or 5 years, that's what's going to make a difference whether you get injured or not. During the lockdown, I had a herniated disc in my back, and like I did it one day when I was deadlifting, but obviously that's something that I've been building up for a long time. I never addressed it. It would always just be like, okay, I'll just go training. I'll just train through it. I'll just ignore these issues and like, when will I rest? Like, who cares? Figure that out later. So yeah, that's kind of what the training schedule looks like, pretty much. And yeah, I mostly try to focus on like rolling a lot, like trying to find how can I roll the most amount of time efficiently, and then add in the drilling to supplement that in terms of like when is the time that I want to figure out something new or figure out a specific sequence. But yeah, that's what I do Monday to Friday usually.
So you'd be knocking out 70 plus rounds a week. That would be 70 plus rounds a week.
Well, I do 70. No way. Well, actually, maybe, yeah. I do 70 rounds a week. 8, 6.
You average about 10 on a Saturday.
Yeah, so I want to say, I don't, yeah, it's probably 10. I don't want to say it's 70 because that seems like too much. Maybe 50 odd, yeah.
Okay.
If even 40 to 50, yeah, maybe.
Okay.
When you put it in those terms.
Now when you think, like, your Saturday that's 10, you still have another 5 days that you're picking up. So if you pick up 60 rounds across them 5 days with 2 sessions.
Yeah. I don't think I can roll them that much.
Right.
Hopefully not anyways. I feel like that'd be too much.
Yeah, no, I the background I came from, it's load management, and I do look at, like, there is a time element to Jiu-Jitsu or MMA.
Yeah.
And it's like, the more hours you put in, the more you boost your percentage chances of success.
Yeah, exactly.
That goes without saying. But I'm amazed also with the approach from Jiu-Jitsu guys or MMA guys that they never like have like easy weeks or easy 2 weeks. Like I remember, I think my last year training when I was younger was like, we used to do a 6-week block.
Yeah.
So 6 weeks hard.
What were you doing when you were younger?
Cycling,
yeah.
So it'd be like a 6-week horrible.
Yeah.
You just hate life for 6 weeks, and then 2 weeks. If you wanted to go out nice and easy, or you know what I mean, and it kind of takes out the monotony of that, just killing yourself all the time and being wrecked. Whereas them 2 weeks with the growth and the recovery, you couldn't wait for the other 6 weeks to come. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But I think Jiu-Jitsu guys and MMA guys just fucking rinse and repeat every day.
Yeah. Well, I think it's so much fun,
Yeah, it is.
That's like the hard part is to actually, like, if the discipline in a lot. If you train a lot, like, the discipline is being able to not train. Being able to turn up and actually sometimes not roll if you need to take a rest. That's like the hardest. In what I feel like that's like the hardest thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think like. For a lot of what I've noticed from people that I've trained with who are like very, very good, like world class good, whether they're doing it consciously or not, they have like every time they turn up to training, it looks like they're fresh. It seems like they're fresh. The way they rolled, and like they never have an expression on their face. They're not getting wrecked after the rounds. It seems like they're fresh, and maybe they do have very specific programming, or just by happenstance they're doing it correctly. But I think that's a significant part of training that. The lockdown actually let me reflect back on a lot, because not having such a heavy schedule meant that you can take a step back and think like, oh, like when I roll now I feel so good, and after I roll I can think about the techniques because I'm not so wrecked in my mind that I can't process what happens. But I think that's like obviously that's how it is for all sports, especially like I'm sure if you look at like soccer players, whatever, those lads, if they get an injury, that's they're getting paid like $100,000 a week in some cases. So it's like they have to have loads of things like that. So yeah, but I think that's just like the development of the sport as things get a bit more professional and people get more. They're putting more money into it and people are putting more money behind themselves. Like I think that's kind of what's growing it like that. But yeah, but like, and I know nothing about it either. Like I learned.
No, it's come here. I just come across this stuff and maybe in 3 months I'll go, yeah, I had that opinion. That's a lot of bollocks. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid to say it either. What I thought there 6 months ago, that's actually bollocks. You know what I mean? I would be like sometimes things that come in my mind and I'm like, yeah, I'm certain on that, and then I look back and go, you know. So I think with the sport and with all sport, you have to be able to adapt, because if you can't adapt, you stay stuck at that shitty position. Yeah,
exactly.
You know? That's my fucking 2 pence worth on it anyway, you know. Yeah,
just a few theories, try them out, see if they work. Start again.
Yeah, and with your jiu-jitsu, do you put yourself, are you a believer in going at 100% all the time, the hard rounds, or do you ever say, listen, I'm going to let this fucker take me back and put me in deep water and try and escape out of it, or do you go into every round with a set plan? How do you play that?
Yeah, it depends. Like, kind of the way I work in my mind is like every week I just want to get better at one thing every week. You know, it's like one technique, if I can get better at that every week, and then kind of plan it out. Now, to be honest, I should write out a plan. This is again like stuff that I'm kind of thinking about adding in now of some kind of ideal game plan for whatever the specific tournament is. But yeah, just like in terms of how I try to develop myself, it's usually I have something in my mind that I want to work every week. I just want to try and hit it a bit as I roll, or I'll give myself specific challenges when I'm training. So for example, if I'm trying to work strategy for a tournament, so like something that can be useful when you're trying to compete is learning how to pace you can pace both the matches and you can pace the whole competition as well, because obviously if you have two guys fighting and one of them has a properly paced tournament and properly paced matches, when they get to the final they're going to be much fresher, and the guy's going 110 pedal to the metal the whole time. So like say for example, I'm rolling, I know it's a 6-minute round, so again, like for the first 3 minutes, if I'm playing guard or something, I can't sweep the person. I just have to try and play the position. I have to make sure that I establish a specific control or something like that before I can do a move, or I have to keep an eye on the timer to only do certain things at specific times. So like, not to get too much into the weeds, but say for example if I'm passing guard or something, this is what I'm doing recently. It's like I know, okay, I have to be able to finish a guard pass before the end of the round, obviously, but I also want to make sure that when I do get in on a position for a guard pass, the guy's not going to be pushing me off. So the first like segment of the round is going to be actually just tiring the person out, just putting pressure on them, putting a pace on them, so that they have to react and see what their intentions are and what their like strong techniques are going to be, and then knowing that by the time I get into my position, I'm going to make it so that they're tired enough so that even if they want to push me away, they're not going to get me off. That's a style of training, is something I think about a lot, and also being like kind of being coached or like sharing the those ideas with other people, that you can kind of put them together. I think helps a lot. Like just trying to, even like tiny things, it's like just discussing tiny details or small things, like maybe like this, maybe like do it like this, or have these ideas helps a lot as well. Especially like for all of us training there, like there's 4 or 5 black belts maybe that are like competitive, and then like, and Dara as well still competes, as so like when we're training, it's not always the case that it's just like a class. It's it's like hard competition training if we're doing hard rounds and all. So being able to like share and encourage each other in a way that's like both strategical and with specific strategical details and technical details can help a lot for how we all work together. Because I find that like just from a team aspect, we kind of evolve similar techniques together, and then it's like one person gets good at one part and then everyone else starts to try and get good at that as well, and then you start trying to beat that, and then it's these tiny little battles that the more people that you can get involved, like the more people trying to play the one game means that everyone gets better at that one game way faster than having individual people trying to do different things,
Yeah.
So that's a lot of it. And obviously like Dara structures the training as well, depending on the season or the time around the tournament, for specific competition related sessions, which is helpful as well, you know. But yeah, a lot of it I think is like you have to be self-governing for like improvement, you know. But I think it's that team element of people doing it together that really builds something good.
And it like I've been around, and it's very hard to get so many guys in and around each other in the same room.
Yeah,
you'd see them at a competition, or you'll go to a mat and there's 2 or 3 good guys.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's and my looking at it is when you can get them 6-7 guys that are in and around and high level, it just makes it so much better. It's like going out running or training or cycling with 6-7 strong blokes.
Yeah,
that the whole group gets better.
Yeah, and even like the things you talk about as well. You know, you talk about things like, yeah, we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It's not you on your own being like, I might do this. It's everyone else. It's everyone being like, yeah, we're going to.
He's after booking it. I better do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, which I think, oh man, like that's something I am so grateful for when I'm training. Like, and especially when there wasn't like large amounts of people training and whatever. Like being able to be in a room with people that are just insanely good and know that you can get around with all of these people together, and we're all going to turn up the next day because, you know, we want to train with each other. There's it's like, you know, that, man, when you get that things like shoot up so fast from there. But yeah,
and that's real the old school type mentality. Dojo is like building from the ground up and just having like 10 bleeding murderers that are smashing the guys underneath them, and them guys are getting stronger for it. They're like hanging with each other, and they're all getting better, you know what I mean? And then kind of 1 or 2 are giving it to the rest of them. That's how you make fucking savages. It's fucking simple.
But
it's
simple in theory.
Simple in theory.
It's just getting everyone together is the hard part.
Like when you can get, because jiu-jitsu is so crushing and heartbreaking that it's rare. Life gets in the way. People get married, they get girlfriends, they want to travel. It's rare that you can get them 8 to 10 killers together all the time. Shit happens, you know.
But I think it's just, I don't know how it happens.
No,
but no, I think it's like a lot of it is just having like the environment and encouraging each other, and like, you know, being, I think, caring about like the team aspect of it is important as well. Like even, you know, when people turn up to train, if they're like brand new or they're like less experienced, just being able to like say hi to them or things like that, like makes a big difference in ways you don't think about, you know, because when you think about fighting each other, you just think about savages in a room just trying to like kill each other, but there's more to it than that, you know.
And that's like what you said there, that's an important aspect. It's like, say where I swim or in the jiu-jitsu room, I'm always conscious of a newcomer coming in, because that newcomer is after thinking about going to that gym about 4 weeks. He's after bottling it about 5 times. So if you have Mr. I'm Big Bollocks, I won IBJJF, or I'm Mr. MMA fucking wannabe gangster, and you ignore him or don't, he's like going, oh, fuck, these are all wankers, and he's gone. Whereas that aspect of, hello, how are you? You're very welcome. It's really important.
And it's like
super important.
It keeps the whole team strong. You know, it's not just like, it's like it keeps the people that are like the competitive, like the most experienced competitive people together as well in that sense, you know, like having people like smiling and being happy and being all together. And also anyone who I've trained with who's like really, really good, they're also really, really nice. You know.
No, it's a lot of the fucking biggest killers I know are really fucking nice people, but they fucking try and kill you stone dead. But that's
the thing. It's like it's not. I don't think it's an accident if, you know, if you're someone who's sound, you know, and you encounter difficulties that might take you away from the mat or have trouble being able to get what you want, people are going to help you if you're friends with them, you know. And if you're willing to help them as well, like in reverse. But
no, it's nice to see, like, Max competed against Neil McQuinn in there and on Submission Samurai, and they were in the final together, and they're on the mat and they're doing a few rounds.
Yeah.
And they're sharing ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And same with, like, any time we come over here, Marcus is always nice. You're always super nice. You know, it's nice because sometimes other dojos I've went to when we're abroad or whatever, not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not everyone's just like, here's the new meat. That's normal.
Yeah.
That's okay. It's like, how'd you get on with him? But don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Be nice.
Yeah, I think.
You know, just be friendly.
I know there's something special to like the nice environment, you know. You take for granted so easily.
Yeah, no, you do. And I'm always conscious, like, not every place is like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's important to you know, just, you don't know what's going on for that person. Fucking plucking up the courage to walk in the door. Yeah. So be nice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's buzz as well, you know. It's only me a few interesting people who share a few interesting stories or whatever. It's like the amount of like just kind of contacts that I've made from doing jiu-jitsu that have just, you know, helped me in such you know, peripheral ways that you'd never even think about is insane. Just from sharing the mat together, you know. Savage. All doing the same thing.
Savage. And I was looking at you did a few rounds there. I'm looking at them fucking transitions, the armbar, fucking serious. I'm like, that's fucking sick.
Wait till I have the two arms, John. This one's next
I was looking at you there, fucking them transitions going, fucking hell. He's giving that fucker about 20 kilos and he's just fucking spinning onto it. It's like, I think I did a round with you the last time, and I think I was armbarred on both sides like 5 times each side of it, like counting them, you know. So it's, well, you like an old armbar.
I do. I enjoy a good armbar. Yeah, I think it's a classic technique.
Yeah, savage. So we're going to end it at that. Give Sam a follow on Instagram, Sam McNally, and give his exec BJJ a follow as well.
Yeah.
We're now with this. The new normal is a bit shit at the moment. It's going to be the better normal because we're going to be doing cool stuff. We need more people doing jiu-jitsu, more human connection, and I'm going to get back to you about that documentary you're talking about, because I know somebody, Connor Kinslett, I know somebody, great documentary maker, so you're out there planting a little seed in me mind from just having a chat on the mat.
Thanks a lot, John.
No worries, man. Nice one.
Cheers. Oh, that'll get you banned now.
That's all good.